Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the PowettPlay Podcast. It's me, John and Shannon. I'm joined by Kieran Powell. How are you, Kai?
I'm amazing, John. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much. Obviously, we touched base 24 hours ago. We've talked about the potential, draw, but wow, what a 24 hours it's been.
Indeed. And I look at the team selection, and I feel extra better. Possibly have won the game instead of drawn the game. But
Yeah.
having said that, still an amazing result. Obviously, congratulations to the team. I think I've seen a post from Ashwin stating that the West Indies can go from getting bowled out for 27 to winning at the Gabba to now almost chasing 500, and it's just this has definitely been the highlight of the year for me.
Yeah.
Watching West Indies cricket, I genuinely feel really, really good today. So
No, it's one of those performances that's, because he showed real fight. It was easy to roll over, and Shai got his 100, and then obviously Justin maybe got what he did, and it's and then you finish the game and you think, okay, showed a bit of something, but to dig in like they did as an actual side, it's brilliant to see. It really is.
100%. I mean, you look at the way Shai batted. I've seen lots of people apparently saying he's batting in shades to be cool, which is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He's played 250 matches and he's trying to be cool now. He already walks in slow motion. You can't try to be any cooler. But he has obviously a really bad eye infection.
Yeah.
Really bad eye infection. So obviously you've got to protect your eyes from the light and stuff.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to go and score a half century in the first innings, back it up with 140 in the second innings, after having scored a century in his last Test match in India as well, very, very, very well done to him. Justin Greaves, I've been calling for him to open the batting in ODI cricket for some time now. It's sort of like you look at Travis Head, and Australia it was in front of them, but they didn't realize. I know Travis Head is now opening the batting in Test cricket. It's sort of the similar principle, I think. And
I know what you're saying.
I hope he gets the opportunity, but you look at his performances. As I said before this series, Justin Greaves hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't put together the entire game, but he hasn't done anything wrong, and this just goes to show my point. 202 batting at number 7. Absolutely amazing. You're talking about fitness to be able to bowl.
Yeah.
The amount of overs he bowled in the game. I think he bowled like 36 overs in the game.
Yeah.
First innings and second innings, and then come and bat for, I think, 9-10 hours, Scored 200 to save a game, potentially almost win it. Amazing effort. And then you look at Kemar Roach at 37, we touched on yesterday, his dedication, his will to stay fit and want to prove that he's still capable of playing Test cricket.
Yeah.
I just checked something. He hasn't actually been dismissed for the entire Test match. He was not out in the first innings on 10. He was the not out batter. And he's not out here as well as getting a 5-wicket haul, as well as bowling. I think it's 39 overs in the Test match, at 37 years old. So that just goes to show the dedication and the hunger and the desire he still has to play Test cricket, that he's just scored his first Test match half century as well. So, I mean, you look at these types of performances from those three guys that we highlighted. And I mean, obviously there are other performances along the way, Tejnarine Chanderpaul obviously scoring a half century, and the amount of time he took out of the game in the first innings, which allowed the West Indies to stretch the game and get to the part of the pitch that's a lot easier to bat now. I think it's sort of a blueprint and a template, those guys up front. And I sort of did this standing up because I wanted to show you something.
Okay.
So you see a lot of the guys in the top order getting out caught behind, sort of in this position.
Yeah,
and this is maybe not a position you want to be in, because in this position, you see your hands can go anywhere. You can sort of follow the ball. So that's why you want to stay side on as much as possible, because your hands can only go. So there's a lot less chance of you see the difference between
this a lot,
and this. Your hands can go a lot and follow the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that the coaching staff will want to work on with the top order for sure, trying to get them to stay a bit more side on. And more importantly, just absorbing pressure and consuming a lot of balls, because as we've seen, like, the pitches get a lot easier days 3, 4, and 5 in New Zealand.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
if you can stretch your first innings, you see how flat that New Zealand attack was at the end of this game. If you can get them in the field first thing in the second test match and put some overs under their legs,
definitely,
there's a great chance of winning the match, you know. So
100%. And I think the point you mentioned there about Kemar Roach, the fact he faced 233 balls, you know, it is that fitness we talked about yesterday. It's that mentality and it's that mindset. And I think, you know, to do that, the atmosphere and the group within that group feeling at this moment in time is massive. You know, you're talking about people as a team now chipping in as well. It's not just been one player who's done this, or a partnership like in India. Obviously, we had the fantastic partnership with Shai and John. This is a collective side performance. It's from a bowling unit side of things. And obviously the batters have now stood up. So I think as a team, the atmosphere that's within this group of players now is going to be massive. And like you mentioned there, it's just these small tweaks going into that second test. You know, that's what you want to see.
And I think that, I mean, you talk about the atmosphere in that team. The atmosphere in the Caribbean must be extremely ecstatic right now. I mean, I'll tell you how I'm feeling. And I can imagine people in the Caribbean waking up later today and seeing this result, seeing Justin Greaves 200 not out, Kemar Roach 50 not out. Within that team, it must be for guys that missed out, the Imlaks, the John Campbells, the Alec Athenes. Alec Athenes, he needs to score some runs. The Roston Chase, he needs to score some runs. The Imlak needs to show something. You know, John Campbell obviously got a century in his last match, Phil in this one. You're looking at not even so much Justin Greaves, but you look at a Kemar Roach and his dedication to just stay there and bat that many balls, and you think to yourself, I've got to come away from this tour with something. I've got to come away from this tour with something big for sure. So that should open up the appetite for the batting order. It should open up the team spirit within the entire unit to know that, guys, look, it doesn't matter what position we're in. If we really put our heads down and fight, like, we can do amazing things. And as I said, like, for me, you know, to go from the very low of 27 to this, obviously New Zealand being a place that's extremely hard for the West Indies team to go and not even win, compete. You know, you look at this entire series, the T20s, the 50 overs, and now this result, it leaves a lot of hope for me for the rest of this series, and I'd be extremely happy if the West Indies can draw this series 1-1, or even come away with another drawn match, because you look at the World Test Championship, and as I said, next year is the year when you start really marking performances based on teams that will be closer to the West Indies. If you can take away these performances knowing that you've got two of your main seam bowlers coming back, which will make scores from opposition teams reduced by at least 150 based on what we see here. And then you're talking about finding a structure and a settled batting lineup. You're building towards something. So I really like what I've seen today. Very, very inspiring. You know, as a West Indian, it's really amazing to see. Congratulations to the entire team, not just the playing team, the management staff. You know, those guys would have been taking a bashing for quite some time. We would have given them a bashing as well.
We spoke about it. Yeah, exactly. So
as I said, rightfully so. As a sporting fan, you're supposed to do that because you want the best
100%
for your team. And you know, days like today is reasons why people sort of get upset, because these guys are capable. And when you see performances like this, it warms the heart.
Definitely. And that's when you get that frustration level when you see the 27s, because you know that that's not the side. You know, we've got this potential here, and you spoke about there about it's a big thing. And I think that moving forward now, I would love to see Kemar Roach get these 9 wickets as well, so he gets these 300 test wickets. You know, you look at, you know, obviously me and you spoke on the podcast about how he was dropped and the communication aspect that was there, but then to come back and do this, but then now have that sort of 9 wickets to get that, you know, magical 300, he fully deserves it. And I hope that, you know, in these next 2 test matches, he manages to pick those 9 up.
100%. I mean, I don't even really want to go on too long in this episode. I'm so happy. I think we've covered everything. It's
No,
just to see
course.
how the top order sort of reacts if there are any changes.
Yeah.
I've already mentioned the changes I would make in terms of Kavim Hodge coming in batting at 7, batting at 5, Rostam drops down to 7. Either Shields or Lane out and go again.
No, perfect. Well, brilliant to debrief. And like I said, kudos to the side. Brilliant performance. Well done, West Indies. Cheers, guys.